Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1757. Today we are with Dr. Brody Miller, Ph.D., using Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. Now, what I am here doing in the morning is this is all about morsels of a thought of wisdom, borrowed wisdom from people who know the right things to do in their area, because knowing the right thing to do for ourselves and for the world is a form of wisdom. And then actually taking action to do it is called virtue. So we're bringing more virtue into the world with morsels of a thought at a time. I am here getting a synopsis of all people's life experiences, and we benefit from hearing what wisdom from other people. Every time you every time you hear a piece of wisdom, you can decide for yourself whether you trust the source or not. And keep in mind that even if you do not like the source, you can hear really wise information from people that you don't consider uh likable. I'm not talking about Dr. Brody. I'm talking about just generally. I'm talking about when you see where this advice is coming from, go to a rich person if you want to become rich, go to a divorced person if you want to go get a divorce, go to a happily married person if you want to be a happily married person. In terms of what they do that's right for themselves, then you weigh it with what you can use that information for in your life. So everybody has probably been hit in the head at least once with, they've probably bumped their head on something. Or when we were kids, did you know, when we were born, we usually have a flat nose for the very purpose of babies falling on their faces. Did you know that? And that's how come babies' noses are flat and not pointed. Did you know that? Well, we all bump our heads, and some of us bump them harder than others. And some of us get brain injuries from chemicals. I had one like that. I've had several physical concussions, and I've had a chemical brain damage done with a prescription medicine that was prescribed to me and that didn't match me very well. So when you look at what Dr. Birdie says on Instagram, he's on Instagram. Go look for him on Instagram. He does live shows and he does reels. He shows you things, and you have also, he has memberships to, he has a coaching program, and he's got a subscription program. So they're varying in cost, but you are welcome to join the one for the, you can see him on Instagram for free too. So without much further ado, I am going to start on page 186 right now, because I like what we see here. Mistakes are the best teachers. You're going to make wrong calls along the way. That's a given. But the faster you make those mistakes, the faster you can grow and learn. Mistakes aren't failures, they're stepping stones. It took Thomas Edison countless hours of trials with the light bulb before he succeeded. He is quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Accept that fact and apply it to your brain health recovery process. The author says, "I'm not saying to throw logic out the window completely. Balance is key. There are times when you need to slow down, assess, and weigh your opinions, but don't let that become your default. The worst thing you can do is sit around paralyzed by indecision, afraid of making the wrong choice. Inaction will keep you exactly where you are. In life, you are going to make bad decisions. You will make mistakes. There is no way of getting out of that. But get in the habit of making them quickly and with a firm belief. I get it. Decision fatigue is real and it's brutal. The more decisions you leave lingering in your mind, the more energy you waste. Start making swift decisions and watch how much mental energy you free up. That's energy you can then push that's energy you can then use to push your recovery forward, to focus on strengthening your brain and sharpening your memory. Action step. Start small. Start by making one fast decision every day. Maybe it's about your recovery routine. Maybe it's about a habit you want to drop or a new strategy you want to try. Whatever it is, decide quickly and stick with it. See what happens when you commit. We are reading Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion by Dr. Brody Miller. His last name is Miller, but he goes by Dr. Brody. Okay. Your long-term memory, excuse me, your long-term recovery is waiting for you, but it all starts with deciding to go all in. Decide to be great. Decide to become unstoppable. Decide that you are worthy. Decide that you are going to win. Decide that you are going to stop making excuses. Decide that you are going to create an awesome life. No more hesitating. No more overthinking. Just bold, confident action. And that's how you win this fight. Trust in yourself. You've got this, warrior. Capital W. Now, get out there and dedicate yourself to become a better decision maker and let your recovery take off like never before. Now, you have to be a warrior. There are lots of books that refer to the brain as a sword. You are sharpening your sword when you are working on recovering your brain, reclaiming your memory. Now, uh, we have several authors that say this in our series. It's a series. It's a book review series. Okay, the fourth step is I for integrate, for dedicate, DEDICATE. D is for dedicate. This is the seventh pillar. Dr. Simon Schultz, SCHULTZ, says the ability of the brain to integrate information is the foundation of learning and adaptation. Now, nature doesn't necessarily favor the most intelligent. Keep in mind all this. Keep in mind that nature favors those who can adapt the most quickly to changing circumstances. Like, let's say you can't swim, but the boat is sinking. What do you got to do? You got to get in the water. You can't help it. You got to adapt quickly and move really fast and doggy paddle, and that'll save you. But if you say, I can't swim and I don't do anything, you'll sink to the bottom. And of course, nature doesn't favor that, right? What an analogy. What an analogy, Mary. Yay. Haha. Dedicate to integrate all that you learn. Integration is our brain's process of converting short-term memories into, excuse me, short-term integration is our brain's process of converting short-term memories into long-term memories. When we learn new information or movements, we need to integrate them. We spoke about the importance of processing speed, the final step of the learning and converting memories, the final step of the learning and converting memories into long-term storage is through integration. The steps look like this. The 4 steps. Arrival. New sensory info arrives into our brain. 2. Processing. Our brain processes what comes to us. Number 3. Integration. Our brain fully integrates things. Number 4, storage. The learnings are stored away for later use. Tools for integration. With the one-on-one work and group coaching I do with my patients, I teach something called an integration sandwich. It starts with a quick 5-minute breathing session, followed by 30 to 35 minutes of brain exercises and learning, and end with 10 to 15 minutes of dynamic breathing. Why do I do this? I do this because it drastically improves your ability to process and integrate what you have learned. This is important for several reasons. I mentioned in the past studies that prove how interconnected breathing and memory are. A remarkable study proves that when you breathe after following an exercise with breathing your brain sequences, the same neural connections that you learned or performed. A remarkable study proves that when you breathe after following an exercise with breathing, your brain sequences the same neural connections that you learned or performed. This is revolutionary. Let's take boxing, for example. Let's say you worked really hard at the gym, correlating different combinations, hitting the jump rope for mobility, and you ending with the speed bag. When you end the session with a deep, dynamic breathing session, you are not only reducing stress levels, you are also performing, excuse me, you are not only reducing stress levels, you are also forming new neural pathways, strengthening existing connections, as well as refiring the sequences and patterns that you formed during the session. It doesn't apply, it doesn't only apply to boxing. It can work with almost anything. Reading, studying, mind gym exercises, whatever. This may double the speed of processing and integrating new information. The fifth step in Dedicate is C for curiosity. Walt Disney said, "We keep moving forward, opening new doors, and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." Let's face it, our brain hates open loops. Think of the last time you watched a movie or Netflix series with all the drama and the ups and downs. The more suspenseful, the better. This is because curiosity is the deep itch you have to fill open loops. Curiosity significantly improves our ability to remember. One study proved this beyond any reasonable doubt. In the study, people rated how interested they were after receiving pop quiz questions about random pictures. It turned out that the more curious they were about the questions, the better they remembered. Brain scans showed that curiosity boosts dopamine activity in areas linked to reward and motivation, like the ventral striatum, ventral striatum, sorry, and regions linked to memory, like the hippocampus. Curiosity boosts dopamine levels a lot. Let me break it down in a way that hits home. You see, dopamine is not your everyday neurochemical. It's a neuromodulator, meaning that it directly modulates or changes behavior. Quote, modulates, end quote, changes behavior. It creates a chemical cascade across multiple brain networks when ignited. When you're really curious about something, your brain acts like a sponge, soaking up not just what you're interested in, but also other things around you. You're priming yourself to learn, grow, and elevate your game. Embrace that curiosity and let it fuel your journey. Once again, our brain hates open loops. It craves finality to any story. Curiosity helps fill those empty loops. Now, I say that is why I did not become a 911 operator, because those poor folks, they go through, I don't know what. Anyway, Back to the author. We need to harness this. Curiosity helps fill those empty loops. We need to harness this and make it our mission to build our curiosity muscle. Stretch that curiosity muscle. Look for curiosity in everything, even in the mundane parts of life. Dive deep into your thoughts and emotions. We are reading Brain Rescue by Dr. Brody Miller, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. And we're reading in number 1756 because I'm here every morning to bring you morsels of a thought of wisdom from other people because they took action. They created the knowledge of what was right to do for themselves. For us, we want to know the right things to do and do them. That brings us more virtue. Curiosity and confusion. Curiosity and confusion. Embrace confusion. Confusion is a good thing, not Confucius. Just kidding. I used to think that when I said, oh, they said Confucius because they were confused. Now I can say this because I'm of Chinese descent, but don't you go around saying that if you're not. You might get in trouble. But anyway, embrace confusion. Confusion is a good thing. You're probably thinking, wait a minute, how can that be? I hate being confused. Understand that there will be confusion before you can learn anything. And guess what? This is a great sign you are on the right track. Confusion is simply new concepts fusing together. When you look at how neuroplasticity and learning really works, you will understand that it can be a painful process when getting started. It will feel uncomfortable. You will feel frustration and doubt. This is an awesome part of your learning process because to truly learn, things need to be disassembled in your mind and put back together again so it makes sense. Confusion just means it doesn't make sense to your current level of understanding. To change your results, you have to think in a different way. When you realize this, it's really simple. But for most people who can't or won't grasp this simple concept, they end up believing that it's their mind's way of telling them they can't or shouldn't do something. Be curious with your confusion. And remember, confusion is actually a sign you are on the right track. Curiosity and confusion are signals of growth. Embrace curiosity to unlock new possibilities and welcome confusion as a sign you're on the right track. These aren't obstacles, they're steps toward deeper understanding. Stay curious. Lean into the challenge and keep moving forward. Your best discoveries lie ahead. Boost your memory by strengthening your curiosity muscle. Number 1 through 3. Number 1 is intent. Number 2 is notice. Number 3 is record. Number 1, intent. Set your daily intention to be more curious. Notice, number 2. Notice, pay attention to daily life situations with a sense of curiosity. Instead of reacting, just observe things with a sense of curiosity. Number 3, record. Write down 3 to 5 things in your journal of things that were really interesting and provoked your curiosity. Now, this is a good idea. Read and study with a journal. Read and study with a journal. I had a math teacher that once said this. He said R and S on the board. He said, read and study with a pen and paper. So the 6th step is A for alignment. For dedicate, DEDICATE, says the author. The 6th step is A for alignment. Mahatma Gandhi said, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Alignment is everything. When you're in complete alignment with your highest self, you will create everything you desire in life. The universe, God, whatever your religious beliefs are, or spiritual, I suppose, molds for those who truly listen to their calling. If your actions don't match your intentions, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and deep regret. If you don't get aligned, I guarantee you will sabotage yourself. Whether that happens all in one night or slowly over time, it doesn't matter. Please take my advice before you end up spending time in county jail like I did. That's what the author says. I needed to understand the hard way to realize that I was literally not creating the person I saw in my head. I was not in alignment with the vision I had for myself. Imagine trying to drive a car with misaligned wheels. You'll struggle to stay on the road, and that's exactly what happens when we lack alignment in our lives. When your thoughts, words, and actions are in sync, you create a powerful force that propels you forward. This congruence sharpens your memory and focus, allowing you to absorb and retain information like a sponge. If you are not aligned in your actions, you will create something very painful called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance occurs when your subconscious mind and conscious mind are in disagreement. Another way of seeing it is that your heart and brain disagree. This is a painful place to be in because it's like floating around in quicksand. This is where alignment becomes your lifeline. When you are in alignment, you can unleash your full potential. Every decision you make should reinforce your goals and values, creating a clear path forward. No more wasted energy. Instead, you'll find clarity and focus, which will sharpen your memory and enhance your learning. We need to simplify our lives, get back to the basics, listen to the universe, and take action in alignment with our future self. How aligned are you? To answer this question, first identify and find out what your deepest values are to see if you are aligned to them. Okay, we've got action steps. Action steps. 7 steps to a values elicitation and alignment check. I have only a minute left, so I'm going to read you the really quickly. Number 1, determine a specific area of your life that you improve. Example, health, career, friendships, etc. Number 2, determine a specific goal, time-bound and actionable goal that you would like to achieve in this specific area. Example, I would like to acquire $5,000 by May 1st by selling used cars. Number 3, write down all of the values and desires for why you want to accomplish this goal. Example, I want more money because it will make me feel secure. Number 4, after you have identified your values and desires for your goal, continuously ask yourself, what are deepest reasons I want this value or desire? Ask questions like, what's important about insert desire or reason? Why do I want insert desire or reason? Number 5, eventually you will uncover a list of your highest and deepest values for your goal. Examples are love, joy, peace, wholeness, abundance. You will absolutely know when you have reached your highest values because when you ask the question, the value will repeat itself. Number 6, check for alignment and congruence. Ask your subconscious mind, am I a loving person? Am I a joyful person? Etc. Number 7, if the answer is a no or maybe and is not a resounding or a definite yes, it is a sign that you have some alignment work to do in this area. Repeat steps 1 through 7 of this process for best results. Next week, we will go into the 7th step, which is T, out of DEDICATE. Okay, old Kinderhook.